Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Coach Sheldon. The head is big for a reason. And when you go on Twitter Ghana, Twitter Nigeria, Burna Boy is trending, Davido is trending, Wizkid is trending, Ashake is trending, Rema is trending, Fireboy DML is trending, various artists are trending. And not be say them release song. Now the thing, as I said, it has transcended boundaries. How do I say? It happened. It started on Niger Twitter. Right now, it did Ghana Twitter. People are having a field day with this particular video that is trending. People are creating memes. People are trolling. People are dropping facts. People are writing think pieces about what Davido said in this particular video or in this particular interview. Now, Davido granted an interview, and in the course of the interview, he said, himself, Davido and Wizkid, they blew up early, and new cats, as in new faces, like Burna Boy, Ashake, Fireboy, DML, and Rema, they joined.
Everybody knows now. I was one of the first, me and Wizkid blowed up, you know what I'm saying? So it feels good, you know what I'm saying? Seeing that, then it feels good also seeing the new cats coming up, you know what I'm saying? Like Burna Boy, Rema, Fireboy, who else? Mayor Kun, you know, a lot of new cats coming, killing it. Ashake, that's on my album. So yeah, so like I think the future in Afrobeats.
The statement that he made said him then Wizkid blowing no be issue with people. What if they sit on people that my chest up right now where them vex be say, how can you put Burna Boy in the same category as these names? Like Fireboy DML, Ashake and Rema, then Burna Boy, referring to them as new cats, as a new pussy. So the outsiders, where they be Burna Boy fans, they have taken this thing World Cup saying, nah, you can't do this thing, bro. When you were recruited by Burna Boy, Burna Boy actually put out a mixtape, and you, the video, you were on it in 2011. So you can't just, throw that assertion out there like that. So as I said, it has generated conversations. The people, they talk. Right now, Ghana, people are making memes and things out of it. But I just want us to understand the dynamics here. And I have an industry person on the phone that we are going to have a conversation with. He is in the person of Joey Akan. He's the founder of Afrobeats Intelligence. He's a podcaster, a media personality, one of the busiest, the internet busiest music nerds when it comes to the Nigerian territory and, at the African continent at large. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to, have this conversation with Joey Akan. We are going to understand the dynamics. What actually this they mean, and whether Davido fought it in the course of this interview. So let's go straight into it. Joey Akan is on the line. Joey, welcome.
Thank you, brother. All these accolades, I don't know, man.
Oh, I mean, say what are they talk me through? You be that guy.
Good to see you, man. I'm proud of the
how Nigeria day? How you people day?
Bro, it's been raining though. Hey, Lagos has been raining for a while now, so it's a very wet day.
It's a very wet day. It's a very wet day. Anyway, so Joey, I'm sure you have seen what is happening on the internet, Niger Twitter and Ghana Twitter. It has transcended to our boundaries. So right now, Ghanaian people are also weighing on what Davido said about, Burna Boy being a new cat and blah, 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 and things. But I've seen you put out a piece detailing what actually Davido meant when he said what he said in the video. Of course, the outsiders are offended, said Davido puts Burna Boy in the same category as these new artists. And you did a breakdown, actually letting people understand the dynamics. So for someone who has been in the industry, profiling some of these artists, talking to them, following the Afrobeat movement and everything, what Davido said, waiting they happen. Why are people mad?
Okay, people are mad because of Burna Boy is at the height of his powers now. He just did 60,000 people at London Stadium, and so he's seen as
that is 80,000, right?
Right now, 60, yes. 60.
No, 80,000. No. The London Stadium is 80.
80. Okay, look at that. Yes.
Joey, you want to tell me you didn't know it was 80?
I pegged it for 60 in my head. So
Okay, cool. All right.
I begged it for 60. I begged it for 60. I'm gonna say I don't know everything. I know a lot, but sometimes not everything.
Nah, Joey, this is an agenda.
But yeah, but this one we're talking about, I know it well.
Okay.
So we just saw what Burna Boy has done. And when you think of him and think of how much his explosion and his aspirations, how wide they run, it's very weird for an artist to show up and call him a new cat, especially an artist that people consider that he has leapfrogged in the hierarchy of artistic ratings. So that's why everybody's just angry. But do I think, and to be honest, you can never really know what Davido meant when he said it. But looking at someone who has followed all their careers from when they were nothing to something, when Burna Boy was doing the music listening for Outside, I was in front of him. He was blowing Igbo smoke on me. So, yeah, Outside. Yes, Outside. I was there when Davido was doing his for. I hung with Davido, I've hung out with Davido a lot.
Yeah.
Especially when he's doing his album runs and all that. We also have a date this month, even. Whiskey too, the same thing. I've been with Whiskey since like 10 years ago, like following these careers. And you just see the difference. We used to have a top 2 before. We used to have a top 2 before for a long time. You can plug in Olamide there as a top 3 if you overstretch it. But it's always been the same Ronaldo and Messi. It's always been Whiskey versus Davido. Always. And then Burna Boy started signaling with Outside, and by African Giant in 2018, 2019, we had to expand it for him with the African Giant on. And we're like, okay, cool. We have a top 3 now. So if someone who has been at the top of African music for a while and now has a new entrant as recent as 4 years ago, would say, or 3 or 4 years ago, would say, okay, this is also a new cat. Then I don't see the problem with that. It's hierarchy. You're now working at this level, but bro, you're new at this level. Let's talk about it. You're just leading the game. You've not led the game for a decade. They have.
But
and so the problem a lot of people will have is when he mentions a lot of other new cats. That one is indefensible. You cannot mention Burna's name and a bunch of all these other people. You can mention Burna with some of them, but not Rema, not CK, not Fireboy. He's their father.
Okay, but then which names did you expect him to mention in that category?
So Burna occupies a very interesting part of African music because he came out as early as these people. That is it. Burna was a star. I grew up in Port Harcourt, and when I first met Burna, like years ago, like he was 2010, 2011, 2010. Burna was a big star in Port Harcourt. And so moving to Lagos, he had to party, and he became known in Nigerian music, and he was a star in Nigerian music, but not a superstar. Burna could not do Burna's first concert in this country. His first headline show was in 2018.
I remember when
the facts that people don't know, or people that recency bias because of how big he is. These are the facts that people hold on to and say that people fail to understand. So people have led this industry for a decade. You have come and you've joined them, and the industry is metamorphosing, and you're taking into global aspirations, and he's leading that right now. So, but all these other years where they were leading the game, now it's still in there.
Okay, but then you see the outsiders are mad at the fact that they started bringing out projects that he had released prior to even him becoming the Odugu or the African Giant.
Yes.
He had a mixtape out there where he recruited Davido for that mixtape.
And I can sing all those projects word for word.
And he was also voted next rated at the Headies. He was voted next rated or something like that. So they are gathering all these things, saying, no, he was there. The fact that he wasn't popping to me say that he wasn't there, he was representing. So you are not right to say nah, he's a new cat.
So think about it like this. Burna Boy has been, and I can understand, trust me, I understand where they're coming from. I understand the anger. I understand the flush of emotions. I do. And, you can argue their case too. But for me, having been a part of this, having worked through this across different stages of it, I was in my industry before we knew that it was called Afrobeats. Yes. Yeah, so take for example now, if there's another music journalist in Nigeria now that has more influence and started doing all of these things, maybe started like 3 years ago and started doing all of these things, blah, 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 blah. Somebody will wake up tomorrow and then supersedes me, recognition, everything, whatever, becomes the SI unit. I don't care. That person, if I give interviews tomorrow and say, yeah, I'm happy I did the work I did, and this new cat, and I mentioned this person's name, would I not be within my... Yes, Burna Boy has existed. Burna Boy has done all this work. We have all followed Burna Boy. But Burna Boy, like, sometimes had to go the longer route to get to the top because of personal and industry demons. A lot of it self-inflicted.
You also made...
That's 20, okay. Yes, I used that at 2017. The police was asking for him.
Yeah.
So he had to overcome that and shed those things before he became who he became. And in that time, David and Wizkid dominated hand in hand.
So what you want to say is when Burna Boy was fighting his demons, Davido and Wizkid, they were actually conquering, you know.
They were at the top.
They were at the top.
Okay. They were our reference. They were the SI unit for excellence in Nigerian music.
Okay. So the assertion that they started, they blew before Burna still stands. But the new cut is where there's a problem.
Yes, my problem, where I had the problem with that comment was linking him with all the other artists. So with Burna Boy's stance in the industry now, the names that you could call, it's hard. Burna Boy occupies a very important. There are a lot of the names that you can call that you say, okay, these are Burna Boy's age mates too. They didn't get to this point. A lot of them in music industry like churns people out or kicks them out as fast as it churns them out. So you mentioned names of people who worked with Burna Boy in the past. You could mention if you want to go back and look at artists who should be here, Sean Tizzle. Sean Tizzle had this thing, but where's Sean Tizzle today? He faded. If you mention people like Solid Star, you mention people like Orezi. These were the people.
Okay,
back then. They didn't grow.
You made a case for Olamide saying it's not. I mean, it's not supposed to be top 2. It's supposed to be top 3. If you are trying to stretch the conversation, why do we have to stretch the conversation to include Olamide?
Because Wizkid and Davido were very much ahead. Yes, they were a notch above everyone else. It's like saying Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, and there's a Benzema somewhere, or before Benzema, who was there before Benzema that was always hanging under them. At some point it was Wesley Schneider did his thing. At some point it was like different players, but that was what Olamide was. But you all know that Wizkid and Davido are not above these people, above this person. So that was it. So with Burna Boy, it became undeniable after African Giant.
Okay, so with what Burna Boy has been able to do with Afrobeats, like, you know, selling out the stadium, you know, doing all these things, winning the Grammy, where does it put him now?
Right now, I think Burna Boy is number one.
Number one.
Right now, yes, right now, Burna Boy is number one. He's front and center, leading the charge. He's number one.
All right.
So, like I said, I will share it on social media. He's making a play for top spots. He's number one. Rema is coming. All of these things, this structure that we have now that we've held on for so long because of our need to categorize things, it's going to be threatened again because Rema is coming. If Rema drops another heavy project and maintains this as global expansion, Rema will enter top 3 or we might expand it to top 4. I don't know.
Okay. With what Burna Boy has done with Afrobeat, selling out stadiums, winning the awards, are we going to see another artist with this kind of, you know, clout?
Are we going to see another artist? Yes, of course. There are a lot of people. Rema is coming. Rema has announced O2. Rema has announced O2 now. Rema is doing O2. Rema is coming. He's the next, in quotes, anointed artist that's coming from here and someone we really believe in. Already there are like little conversations about him breaking into top 3. Like those conversations have started in fringe areas of music community, fringe music communities and these spaces. But very soon it's going to become extremely mainstream where people would come out with their chest and say, yes, Rema is our number 3 now. And the scores on the score on the board would reflect that, but we'll give him a chance to aim for that spot. So there will be artists. There will be artists as long as we continue this Afrobeats of the world, as long as we continue to break the global pop framework, as long as our music continues to be seeded into these spaces via artists and institutionalized funding companies, you know, we would always have this chance because it's important that these people make their money. And how do they make their money? By putting us in these spaces. And the music is good, so it will be there, and there'll be a lot more of us. A lot more of us.
Okay. Thank you very much, Joey. Thanks for hopping on the phone to talk to us with regards to this particular topic. I appreciate your time. And yes, guys, he has a podcast, Afrobeat Intelligence. This guy is doing all the things, all the necessary things, the important things. So check
Thank you so much, Charlie. I appreciate the work you do. I appreciate you for this opportunity.
Well, I'll come to Nigeria though. When I come, you have to show me around though.
Come now, come. I'll take you to places they never put on TV.
Hey, nah, Joey, they carry go. Joey, bye.
I'll take you to the parties that don't make it to social media.
Hey, Joey, thank you very much, Charlie. I appreciate your time.
All right, man. Blessings.